Listen, you want to speak? You're watching Guns N' Roses.
Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to GNR Central. And today I want to talk about the Bon Jovi and Axl Rose feud, as well as the Sebastian Bach feud that's also thrown in there as well. So this one really dates back to 1987. So Guns N' Roses are promoting Appetite for Destruction. They're on the road with Alice Cooper, and it's just towards the tail end of 1987. And Axl starts a brawl after being called a Bon Jovi lookalike. So basically, Guns N' Roses were playing Chicago. Axl was in the lobby of his hotel. So a fan basically made the comparison between Axl and Bon Jovi, and Axl did not respond in kind. He instead responded with his knuckles, starting a brawl in the hotel lobby. So the following night, while Guns were opening for Alice Cooper, Axl went on one of his classic rants and basically called out Bon Jovi and told the audience what he thought about Bon Jovi as well. So here's Axl's rant from that show.
Now last night, what happened was 5 guys in suits decided in the Hyatt Regency Hotel that we were scumbags. They were right, we're scumbags, but that don't mean we're gonna take this shit. So, first off, this guy grabs me and calls me Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi can suck my dick. Second off, he tried to hit me. That's when Steven cracked him in the head with his cast. And his words were, "You never try to hit one of the family." Then another guy tried to hit me and come here. Just come out for a minute. Just about. Our guitar tech, Mr. Mike Mayhew, laid him out in one punch. And then after that, they kicked us out of the bar, and these same 5 guys holding ice packs on their heads blocked us off in the hallway and called us out again. He knocked the same motherfucker out twice. After that, the cops came and started arresting people that weren't even involved in the fight because they had typical cop mentality. The reason I went to jail was because this real big fucking cop told this 17-year-old girl who they were trying to arrest her boyfriend, and she was upset, that if she didn't shut her fucking mouth, he'd kick her fucking ass, and she was a stupid bitch. And then he went pretty low, right, for a big fucker. And then he went to hit her. And so, to distract him, I told him to fuck off. This guy chased me for about 20 feet and then threw me 10 feet into a bar, and I wasn't even fighting, and it took 5 fucking assholes to hold me down. People wonder what we write our songs about. I think you can get the general idea when we write a song like "Out to Get Me."
So 13 years would go by until we would really hear anything about Axl and Bon Jovi mentioned. And of course, 2006 was a busy year for Axl. He was out on tour after 4 years. It seemed like Chinese Democracy was maybe going to come out. And then the New York Post published an article back in March of 2006 that reported that John Bon Jovi is disgusted that his rock rival Axl receives more media attention than he does because the elusive Guns N' Roses frontman hasn't made a record in 13 years. So according to the article, John can't seem to get over the fact that the press will always be more fascinated with the bad boy legacy of GNR than they are with his comparatively bland Bon Jovi. And according to the Post, he basically fumes. He says, "You know what pisses me off? I was reading this British rock magazine this month, and there's a story about Axl Rose and the $13 million Guns N' Roses record that was never made. That mother effer hasn't made a record in 13 years, and he gets all the attention. You know what I've done in 13 years? A lot. But they have continued to write about the freak show aspects of him because he's a recluse. I guess that makes him interesting, right?" Now, Bon Jovi's feud wasn't limited to just Axl. It also involved Axl's good friend Sebastian Bach. And what's funny is Sebastian Bach and Bon Jovi were originally friends back in the day, and then their relationship kind of soured. And here's an interview that Sebastian Bach gave where he talked about his relationship with Bon Jovi.
And the Bon Jovi stuff is what was the promo leak or whatever it was.
Well, no, that was like a New York Post.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not bad for the book.
no, but listen, again, this was a long time ago. There's an incident that you're referring to in 1989.
Right.
We used to have these ends of tour hijinks. And the New York Post headline yesterday is John Bon Jovi's dad threatened to kill Sebastian Bach. There's a nice headline.
That's a great
There's
headline.
a lovely headline. But that refers to a very specific incident that happened where I learned if you insult one Italian, the whole fucking family comes at you.
I see.
The father, the brother, everybody. And the road crew.
So why'd you insult him? What happened?
Because he dunked my head in a vat of ice milk. I don't want to give away the whole book.
That's all right. Who has ice milk on tour? That's such an
It
odd
was
thing.
the end of tour hijinks. You remember
okay.
that shit? Where bands would grease up the drumsticks.
Oh, I didn't know they'd do that. No, I know they
You know,
just fucked
well,
up.
I was on the road with Pantera once, and I put my mic up to sing, and my mouth starts burning, and I go, "What the fuck?" And I wipe it off my lips, and my eyes are like, "Ah!" And they're all laughing, and they doused my mic in Tabasco.
Oh, that's fucking genius.
And they go, "Here you go, dude!" And I fucking run out. I went, "Fuck, fuck!" And I'm trying to wipe it off. It's going in my eyeballs. Like, everybody's looking on stage. What's wrong with him?
Yeah.
I'm going, "You fucking bastards!"
How long did it last? How long were your eyes burning?
Tabasco's hot. Like, and you get it in your eyes.
Ice
And you're
milk.
on stage.
Ice milk would have helped though.
A Dunkin' ice milk would have taken care of that
Dunkin' ice
immediately.
milk would have helped
That's
everything.
what they did. I was walking in the stage, Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
The lights were out, and I feel about 6 dudes just grab me. I don't know what's going on, and just dunk my head and hold me under in a vat of like freezing cold ice milk as the first song is starting.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be up there for the first verse, and I'm under the stage. And you know when you jump into water, it's too cold, you get that vertigo?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And I run up there, and the band's going, what are you doing? And I got milk all over me. But you got to read the rest of the
Yeah.
crap.
So ahead of Sebastian Bach's book coming out, 18 in Life on Skid Row, he shed some more light on the tensions between his band Skid Row and Bon Jovi. And it wasn't just limited to nasty pranks and angry words being thrown around and punches and, of course, that death threat he talked about. So an exclusive excerpt that the New York Post had gotten about the book, Bach reveals how the relationship between himself and Bon Jovi went from friendship to rivalry so quickly. So Bon Jovi famously helped Skid Row get their first record contract and even took them out as their opening act on their 1988-89 New Jersey Syndicate tour. However, Bach alleged that when Skid Row's fame began to rise and their merchandise began outselling that of the headliner, a jealous Bon Jovi ordered him into the dressing room, stared me down and said the words, "I'll effing own you." Bach then goes on to say that Bon Jovi's crew once doused him in ice milk, as we heard before. And he said after the show, we saw about 60 people coming towards us. Bach recalls going on to explain that John Bon Jovi, his father, and his brother were at the front of the pack with the group's entire road crew behind them. According to Bach, an incensed Bon Jovi said, "I heard what you said on stage, mother effer," and threw an errant punch. So Bon Jovi's crew reportedly then slammed Bach against a concrete wall as Bon Jovi's father, Tony, yelled at him for calling his brother Bon Blow Me. And John's father apparently took things even further. So Bon Jovi Sr. pointed in my face as I was held against the wall and basically said, "I'll effing kill you," or something like that. So a war of words followed, but years later, when he and Bon Jovi had a chance at a 2006 meeting in a London bar, Bach says the two hugged like old friends, and John took a chance on me and our band, he writes. "I will always be indebted to him forever." So Sebastian Bach would give an interview years later where he revealed the feud between Axl and Bon Jovi had finally settled, and they were basically friends now. So here's the interview he gave.
A long time ago. That was a long time ago. Bon Jovi took us on our first tour, and we signed some papers with him that he got a cut of, you know, if we made it big, that he would get compensated for helping us out. Nobody expected us to get as big as we got. Like, nobody thought that we would become a big band. So, you know, that happens all the time in the music industry. You can, you know, John is like, "We'll take you on tour, you know, but if you guys make it big, then he gets a cut of it." So I was bitter about that for a while, but then I realized that we probably wouldn't have made it as big or maybe at all if he didn't take us. I actually had dinner with John a couple years ago. We were staying at the Mandarin Oriental in London, me and Axel, and we were sitting there, and the waitress says, "Hey, guess who's over in the corner?" And me and Axel go, "Who?" She said, "John Bon Jovi." And I go, "Get the fuck out of here." And I turned, he was in the corner, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, because we had words. Most of them were mine. But so I go, you know what? Fuck this. I go, I'm going to go over there and say hi to him. Because we used to be great, great friends. I had dinner, like Christmas dinner at his house and stuff. And so I stood up and walked over towards John. And John was looking at me going, are you going to be a fucking... Are you going to be a dick? Or are you going to be nice? What are you going to be? And he's looking at me like, what are you going to do? What are you going to say? And I was like, hey, man, how's it going? He's like, hey, man. And we stood up, we hugged. And then he came over to me and Axel's table, and we drank about 15 bottles of red wine. Had a great time. And he gave me his phone number, and I've texted him a couple times. And he's a good guy. We're friends again.
So that does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed that. And be sure to let me know your thoughts of Bon Jovi. How do you guys like Bon Jovi compared to Guns N' Roses and Skid Row? And go hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos just like this. And go check us out at gnrcentral.com for the latest and greatest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.
Hey, this is Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses, and you're watching GNR Central. Yeah!